Hey, Nerd Fam, and welcome back to beautiful Milan, Italy. We're here with our Creators X series for Vultr, featuring the fabulous humans building the future. Now, this radiant being to my right, Tiffany, was glowing when I walked up to the booth. Kevin speaks so highly of you. Thank you for being brave enough to sit here and have a chat with me.
I am so happy to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
So, you have played not just a critical role within Vultr, but you've done some pretty interesting things in your life. You've been in food and bev. We've got a former cheerleader on our hands. You've been a mentor. You've done a lot of things based in the UK. Tell me a little bit about what made you fall in love with sales and the hustle game that you lead now.
Cool. I think so much of it really. I am such a people person. For one, I can probably talk for the whole of England. All my friends just know I can yap and yap forever and ever. um, but honestly, I went to uni in the UK and I did a master's in organizational psychiatry and psychology, and I've always been so fascinated by leadership in sales, but also just leadership in all organizations, whatever industry it is. And I knew I always just kind of wanted to get in somewhere, be able to start leading a team, and for my own form of leadership, but also be somewhere really in the heart of it and just like observe. And the world's always changing. Every business is so different, and I'm so lucky to now be in a place that is so accepting of growth, of making mistakes, of failure, but also I'm in such an exciting role. And yes, and I just love it. I just love connecting with people, really.
Well, I think that's very obvious. If anyone can't tell from your energy, they're missing that. What is it that gets you so excited? What makes you feel particularly lucky?
Um, oh, that's a really good question. Um, what makes me feel really lucky? I grew up in Hong Kong. I went to school there, born and raised there, and I am so lucky to have been able to move abroad to the
And that's
UK.
entirely on the opposite end of the world,
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
yep. Um, and I moved here. I moved here on my own.
Brave. Oh my
and
goodness.
my mum is back home, but I think every single day there's always an opportunity, whether it's meeting people that I always thought I'd only ever see online, or I'd only ever read about or see the news about, and now I get to share a room with them. And it's almost that feeling of being a part of like this new revolution of one AI, of new tech, of a new generation of sales, and it's just like little bits like that.
Do you ever have those pinch yourself moments when you're in those rooms?
Yes. Yes, I absolutely do. I have it here as well.
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
know,
yeah.
I'll be at the booth and I'll be talking to people, and I'll hear about their startup programs, or the CTO of a really cool company, and it's just kind of like, oh, wake up. And I think it's so exciting, and I think as a woman in the industry, but also as a young woman in the industry, it's exciting to push myself and be in these spaces. And yeah.
It is exciting to push yourself, and it also requires, and I'll say this as a woman slightly your senior, it takes a real level of courage because you are not looking at a lot of women in those
I
rooms.
know it's scary.
And there's not just the representation part of that, there's the nuance to that. And I think that it's remarkable what you've done and your bravery. What would you tell the little girl in Hong Kong who saw these tech nerds or famous people or people running the economy, however you want to look at it, about the woman she would become today?
Oh my god, you're gonna make me cry. um, I, I, I've always wanted to get a tattoo of this, but it would literally just be everything's going to be okay.
Hmm.
And like, to maybe flesh that out a little bit, I think as niche as maybe it sounds, I think it's just go out there, put yourself in really difficult situations, and be okay to fail. Like, that was the one thing that I think I always got feedback on and advice from my managers, and it was like, just go and make a mistake, and I was like, no.
Well, of course, because you think something bad will happen
Yeah.
if you don't do it
Yeah,
perfect.
but I think that's why I tell like the little girl who's back home in Hong Kong watching me do all these things and being in Milan,
Yes.
is that everything's going to be okay, but also trust your gut instinct and keep leaning into your passions of one, speaking to people, but also just learning about the world
Yes,
in
curiosity
more
is
ways than
always going
one.
to
Yeah,
serve you.
yeah.
I think that little girl would be very proud.
She'd be jumping up and down.
Yeah.
She'd be screaming.
Well, I think that she still is. What do you think was, and maybe the move is an obvious one, so maybe there's two. What do you think were the biggest leaps of faith that you took in this process?
Ooh, I think as to like where I am now,
Yeah.
one is definitely the move, but I think the second one was at the point I was in my career. Um, I never thought I'd be at the position to lead a team and have a team of my own,
Hmm.
and I think that was a massive, massive, leap of faith from both Engage Check, both Vultr, of just go for it, um, and that's taught me so much of just going in head first and adapting to different people's learning styles, different people personalities, all of that. So I think that's definitely a massive leap of faith.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like you're, and I think, when people talk about leadership or when you become a manager like that or a leader, everyone who led for the first time had never done it before.
I know.
But you would seldom hear members of the opposite gender say, "Oh my gosh, I was so nervous to lead. It was, oh, I felt like I owned that position," or whatever. Do you think that your education and the background that you had and just your general clear passion for leadership helped you take that big step?
Absolutely. Um, I think my master's really, really solidified it, because there's just so many different patterns in groups of people, but being a voice that almost like, what's the word, deserves to be heard, wants to be heard, and how you learn to be heard. But also how you inspire people and how you push people. So I definitely think my background, for sure. I don't think I've always been this confident or this like, or maybe willing to speak to people. But I think you grow into it,
Yeah.
and you realize there is so much good in the world.
Absolutely. And you realize that people are rooting for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with public speaking or talking to
Yeah.
people in a sales role. At first, you think, oh my gosh, no one's going to like this.
Yeah.
They want to have a solution presented
Yeah.
to them. They want to chat with someone who's lovely and engaging like
Oh,
you.
thank you.
It's not this, it's easy to feel like when you're starting out, like the world is judging you and everybody else is perfect. It's a messy kitchen out
Yeah.
here. We are all
I
just
know.
prototyping, and that's a part of the iterative process. So I think it's lovely that you've found an environment
Yeah.
where you really feel safe, and also I would say, I mean, you are revered on this team.
Thank
So tell me a little bit about what it was like architecting an SDR program from complete scratch.
Yeah. I think it was scary, for sure. Being the first SDR on, calling on the Vultr campaign and bringing the message out into the world, because you're doing a lot of trial and error. You're trying to figure out, which industries to go for, which kind of titles to go for. How do you even pitch in a way?
The messaging,
The
the right
messaging.
messaging is different for each one of those things you
Yeah.
just described.
Pitching, one, to sound human, because we're also just doing it on the phone, right? There's a massive buffer. There's no human connection. I can't laugh at you. I can't show
Yeah.
you my nails.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
Most importantly, yeah.
But it went from that to, and it was just a lot of trial and error of just figuring out, what actually to say, but also the right kinds of questions to ask that, gets the most out of people, not in a weird way, but
Yeah.
that gets them also. How do I phrase this? Almost like pinpointing their trigger point of their passion for their role and going, okay, here's how we can help.
Yeah.
And it's not a me v you situation. It's like, me and your company against what you're trying to do. Um, so it was that, and then it went to we then built out the team into a team of 3 in the EMEA, like in the London office in the UK, and then now we've grown the US SDR team into like 10 plus. We've got another 2-3 people joining us next week, and I think it's just, I'm going to hold my hands up and say that I've definitely probably failed a couple times. But it's fun. I think like to answer your question of like what it's like, it's fun.
Yes. Oh, I mean, don't we all want work to be fun?
Yeah.
Don't we all want that sense of
Yeah.
adventure? And excuse me, I just got to dust your shoulders off real quick because that's really rapid growth, especially internationally. Have you noticed any unique differences between growing the team in the United States versus the team in the UK?
Definitely. In terms of like a very sales-specific perspective, cold calling, for one, is very different in the US. There's a lot of metrics which I won't bore you with right now, but a lot of metrics that we measure and we really take care of when it comes to those market trends. But people in different countries respond to people, like strangers calling you on the phone, quite differently, and you have to learn how to really adapt to that really quickly. But also I think the market in the US can sometimes be behind, but it can sometimes be way ahead of EMEA. So when Vultr announces a really exciting launch of a new product, you have to really think really quick on how to actually push that message forward.
Especially at the velocity
Yeah.
that Vultr operates at. Okay, so who is kinder on the phone when you cold call? I think I know, but
You know what? I have to say, I would say the UK, but not the UK specifically, because British people, I think, can be quite blunt sometimes. But if we're comparing EMEA and the US, I'd have to say EMEA.
yes.
I'd have to say, sorry, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly how the attitudes can be when people pick up a phone call from a stranger. Have you found that building the culture remote within that SDR group has been easy or hard based on the velocity that you're moving at? Maybe a little both.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think I'd have to lean into probably a little bit more hard, because I think like we were saying earlier, wanting that real human connection and trying to do it through a screen requires, one, a lot of time, but also a lot of, I don't know, it's just a different experience, really. But I love my team, and I like pour everything into them, because I want them to, I almost like see myself like 3 years ago as they first join, and I just want them to be in an environment and curate a space for them to go and have fun, but also go and do things and try new things and all of that. But I would say it's quite hard trying to do it remotely.
I could not sit next to you and not talk to you about those fabulous nails. First of all, let's just put those beauties up to the camera. Show off the claw. Talk to me about the nail inspo, the nail game, and I'm curious if, like me, if nails are a bit of your fashion identity.
Definitely my fashion identity. It's my creative outlet. I got into so I do my own nails. They're like my side hustle piece.
You did that yourself? Oh my gosh. I was impressed to begin with. I am even more impressed. Holy moly, I love that.
Thank you. I got into it during uni, in my first year of uni. And just started doing that. Then I ran like an Instagram account for it. All of that jazz.
Are you low-key a nail influencer?
Maybe
a little bit. Oh my God, love.
But no, then COVID hit, whatever, all of that, and then I got back into it, and then I just learned how to do it, and now it's just kind of like a creative outlet for me.
I love that.
So anytime there's ever an event you can trust me to have, nails for it. Halloween, Christmas, my birthday, summer holidays, all of that.
Where do you find your inspo?
Pinterest. I'm a Pinterest girl through and through. But also just on other people. Like, I definitely stopped someone in the street and was like, can I please take a picture of your nails?
Yes.
So I can recreate them.
I love that it matters as much to you. I'm the same way. Obviously, my nails in Vultr branded colors right now, and I care about it because I think it's a really beautiful detail that shows you acknowledged place or the holiday or whatever it is. It's also a nice way of acknowledging whatever's going on, but more importantly, people who don't get their nails done do not understand how much anyone who gets their nails done, completely gender neutral, people who love nails.
Yep.
And we will, like your point, we will stop you in the street
Yep.
to get the scoop.
Yep. And that applies for everything we've been talking about as well. People who love sales, just get it. People who don't, just don't get it. People who love tech, love it. And people who don't.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you decide you were really passionate about technology, actually, speaking of that?
I think my truthful answer is I don't think I ever, it's a case of I fell into it.
I was wondering if it kind of happened like that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are almost, there's a kind of taboo about not directly picking the industry that you end up being in. But I'm very much of the idea that sometimes you do just fall into it and sometimes you do just end up falling in love with it. But it definitely was just when I can't say it was in my first couple months because it was really tough trying to learn everything.
It's a whole new dictionary.
I know.
Even if job role aside, the lexicon is insane.
Yeah, and it was just so much to remember and that. But then as I got much more comfortable in the actual day-to-day role, it meant I had a lot more time to actually learn about the tech, the background and all of that. And now being a part of the AI boom and the AI revolution is just so exciting. But it's also being able to use it in my career and use it to help me curate training sessions and support that as well. Has been phenomenal. So yeah,
I love that. Do you use AI or any specific tech in your personal life?
In my personal life, I have to say that I've definitely used AI to help with an outfit or two.
Heck yes. Love me an AI stylist. Who doesn't need help with that? No, I'm always asking for advice or what fashion is in vogue in Milan, for example, where we are right now.
For sure.
All right, last question for you, because you're such a great example of what's possible if you just keep trying and see what happens next. What would your advice be for a young woman watching this video who's feeling a little nervous, understandably, perhaps, about chasing her dreams or maybe listening too much to that voice inside their head holding them back?
Oh my gosh, I could do probably a whole chat about this. I think my biggest thing would be nothing changes if nothing changes. And if you really, really want it, I think it's really learning to listen to, is that your gut telling you to actually go and do it? Because if it is, then I promise everything will be fine. You're going to figure it out. And if you're the person with the kind of determination and the caliber to go and just try, it's all going to work out one way or another.
I love that. So be brave.
Be brave.
And come work
Go
for
and
Tiffany,
fail.
because she's obviously killing it. I knew you would be fantastic, but you even exceeded my expectations in this interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. I hope you're feeling as inspired as we are sitting here in Milan, Italy. Fabulous Milan. See what happens when you chase your dreams. This is our Creators X series with Vultr. My name's Savannah Peterson. Thanks for coming to learn with us.